Hi guys, welcome back to Gex and Specs and Friends. Today I am joined by my friends Crazy Royal Geckos and Tiffany's Reptiles once again. Before we start, I do want to let out a little, I guess you could call it announcement. I did open a Patreon with a few little extra perks and quirks there. So if you want to check that out, I have a few little perks if you decide you want to donate to the podcast or even just go look at it. Like, feel free to go check it out if you want. Just wanted to let that out. Anyway, hi guys.
Hello. Hey.
Literally, you guys have no idea. We have been talking for like 40 minutes before we started this. This happens every time we film together. We talk about random things. Like I don't even know. Like it doesn't make a difference if we're filming or not.
We love each other.
It's
I
true.
know we just vibe together pretty well.
I guess we have that like tight knit kind of reptile people vibe. I don't know. Our conversations jump all over the place, guys. We literally went from talking about anime to nude beaches. Then we talked about reptiles. And then I was finally like, okay, guys, like, we got to start filming. Like, it's been 40 minutes. But it happens every time. Just like as a fun little fact behind the scenes, we literally talk every single time. And then after we end up talking for like a half hour to an hour usually. Anyway, but anyway, guys, welcome. Welcome. It's not like we haven't been talking for 40 minutes, but welcome. Um so Tiffany, I actually wanted to ask you, how are Agent and Professor doing, by the way? Like, I was curious. I've been wondering.
So individually, I'll start with that first. So Nellie is growing, which is awesome because she was like a squirt when I first got her. She was so small, so I wanted her to get a little bit bigger before I put her in with Agent anyway. So I'm thrilled that she's growing so quickly. She actually eats like everything ever. Like everything I offer her, she eats it. So I have to be careful because I don't want her to get chunky. So I have to be careful. And then Agent, all of his wounds are like scarred over.
Oh,
His
that's good.
toe, he had like his smashed toe. He had like lacerations and wounds all down his back and all on his stomach and under his jaw and everything. Those are all like closed and they're kind of pink. So like he still needs to get like his scales back there, but there
Hmm.
are like dermal layers forming over it. So he's all healed up and then it's only going to get better from there, but he'll probably still keep his scars, but I don't
Yeah.
think they're that noticeable. So he's doing like really well. Like I thought I was going to have to make multiple vet trips with him because of his toe and everything, but he totally healed up just fine and he eats very well too, but he's not as intense of an eater as Nelly or Professor. So he's just very gentle and calm and like doesn't care about anything at all. So and then as a couple, they do awesome. Like they're always like snuggled together and they like come out together at night and like they're very aware of each other's presence when they eat. Like I'm never worried about them, like they kind of eat separate. Like I always feed Nellie first and then
Hmm.
she buries herself and then I dig Agent out and I let him eat because he's a lot slower. So I just let her like do her thing because she's so fast and then I take my time with him. So like it works out really well. Like they're cohabiting perfectly. I have to add a second female. So I hope it works out really well because these two so far are like the greatest little couple.
That's they're gonna be like a little tri couple, like
Yeah.
a unit, I guess. Are they so they are living together like officially?
Yeah, I just started it. Was it last weekend? I think I hit a month, so I put them in together, and they're doing really well. So
I'm really excited. I don't know, like I've been like following your like whole project with them, but I'm like, I want updates. I want to know what's going on like all the time. I'm like, I feel like I was like waiting till we film this because I literally wanted to ask you anyway, but I was like, that might be good content. Maybe I'll wait. I'll hold myself back. I'll
Yeah.
try.
yeah.
Are you
Um,
to breed them?
Yeah, I'm trying to breed them. So only two people that I know of have successfully bred them. One guy in Hong Kong and one guy in Japan. And the guy in Hong Kong, I'm on a Facebook group for Scincopus fasciatus, if I said that right, which is the Peter's banded skink. So I'm on a Facebook group with them, and the guy is in the group, and he actually, like, I asked him a lot of questions because I was like, I'm trying to, breed them too. And he had pictures and everything, and he gave us all, like, everybody on the page, like, pointers, like the incubation tips, and what temperature he keeps his geckos at, or I mean his skinks. Oh my god, I'm sorry, his skinks and everything. And he put pictures of the babies, and they're so cute. Like they look so like the
How
same but different.
small do they hatch out? Like just from what
They're
you can
really
tell.
tiny.
Oh,
They got
They're
big
like
heads and little bodies.
they're super small. They look like a mini version of the adults, but kind of like darker.
oh,
Like
okay.
their stripes
Oh
are
my
like
gosh, so cute.
more bold looking, and like their like tan parts, or I guess you would say tannish orangey parts, are like a lot darker. So they like, I
Interesting.
guess, lighten up as they get older. Because when I got Nellie, she was a lot smaller, but she was still like really light. So
Hmm.
I guess like, but Agent is a bit lighter than her. So I guess maybe with age they get brighter, which is pretty cool.
When did you realize, like, because I remember, like, a while back you said, like, you realized, like, Professor Nelly, like, actually was a girl because, like, was it just you looked at Agent and you immediately knew, or, like, did you, like, compare this? Like, when did you realize that you were like, oh, she's actually probably a female?
So I had my doubts, but I realized it before I went to get Agent because I thought that Nelly was a male at first because I thought his head was like, or her head was pronounced, but next to Agent, it's not pronounced at all. Like she's built like a carrot. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know what made me think, but I am definitely sure that she's a female, and I'm pretty confident that Agent is a male. So yeah, and then I'll be adding. I forget who won. I have to look back. I think Captain won. So the next skink to join the crew will be Captain something.
I'm
So
excited. I'm so excited. Like when if like the breeding all goes well, like I'm literally so hopeful it does. You're gonna have to send me like a bunch of updates and pictures. Just me personally, because I need to
yeah,
know.
I
yeah.
hope this is
I
so
feel bad
too.
because like I have so many people excited. So I'm like, well, I can't fail now.
I
So
mean,
I hope I can get it down.
it's
But
so. Do they have like specific breeding seasons? Like, did the Hong Kong guy like mention breeding seasons, or can they just go year round? Like, I'm
so
curious. Like,
his English was really poor, but he
uh-huh.
didn't do a cool down period. So I don't think so. And I looked up like weather patterns in like the Sahel eco regions in North Africa, and it
Hmm.
doesn't really change much. Like they have like rainy seasons, and that's it. So like maybe I can squirt them more with a squirt bottle during the rainy
I'm
season.
You'll like put a little
curious.
dripper on top and be like, "It's raining, guys. It's
It's raining season, but like I don't think they really care. I mean, they're for being wild caught, they're incredible. Like you think of
Yeah.
wild caught and you think of like I don't know, like the Savannah Monitor and how it like hates everyone and wants to like
sassy."
work with them super hard. And they're not like that at all. Like they don't like when I pet them, they like kind of like lean into it. Or if they don't feel like it, then they just walk away. Like they don't care. They don't like run from me. They aren't afraid of me. Like especially Agent, he is so calm. Like I pick him up and he's just like okay, and like he's not frozen in fear or anything like that. He doesn't close his eyes out of stress. Like he doesn't show any of those like normal reptilian stress signals like from any of the species. Like if when I put him down on my leg or I put him down on the couch, he'll either kind of stand there and like start licking around, or he'll kind of
Hmm.
just like walk along. Like they just are so calm. And then Nellie climbs me like I'm a tree.
How cute.
No, obviously she's not afraid of me.
She's
So
just like, "You're my tree now."
yeah,
This
like
is
I'll
how it
put her
be.
down on my bed or on the floor, and I'll be if I'm sitting on the floor with her, and she just climbs right up me, or she'll try to burrow under my legs.
Yeah.
That's literally where like my crested, like as soon as I open his like little enclosure door, I always have to be careful because he'll jump right out and he jumps right onto me and then just chills. Like that's just his.
Aw, I can't wait till Sugar Rocky does that. But right now he's not crazy. He just chills, and he
Th-
likes to jump on my face.
um,
Loves to jump for the face. I don't know why.
is he a confirmed male?
He's a male because she She said he was showing pores.
Okay, so he has the pores. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair warning, he might go through like a really like aggressive or like very like jumpy, flighty phase.
he's pretty jumpy and flighty.
Males go through this very like aggressive like in quotation phase when they usually mature. So be ready for that. Be ready for the sperm plugs and
Yeah,
everything that comes with
I
it.
already deal
Oh
with
my
bubblegum.
gosh.
It can't be worse than bubblegum, man.
Does
You know,
he does he like wait, what does bubblegum do?
bubblegum. I remember it's the albino one that I have.
Yeah, no, I meant like what does he do? Like
He bites. He
oh.
like hisses at me. He does nothing. If I pick him up, I literally it's like he tries to fall to his death. He'd rather die than be with me.
Oh my
He
god.
goes out like a man. He's like
Yeah,
by
he goes out. He tail whips me. I posted pictures of him sizing me up. He'll get on his ledge and then size me up and look at me. I don't know. I don't know what goes through his little head. He does
I
not.
So I actually have news about my old crested gecko that my friend took.
oh,
I
how's it doing?
He's
Is he
huge. He is huge, and he's like gorgeous. He looks great. I like got a little sad because I was like, oh my god, I wish he was like still like with me. But
mm-hmm.
he looks amazing. But I also she referred to him as she was like, look at your baby. So I don't know if she's still planning on giving him back. I was
Eat
actually
his
going to
ass.
try and drive up to New Jersey this summer to like go visit my family, and like I was going to visit that friend because I didn't get to visit her last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And now with all the virus stuff, I don't know, because that would be stupid because I don't want to put everyone, my job, my grandma, my sister, like everybody in danger. So like obviously it's on hold until everything calms down. But I do still really want to like drive up, and like I don't know if she's gonna give him back to me or not. But I was gonna ask her like if she still wanted him, so I might end up with Mochi again, which
Oh,
is kind of cool.
exciting.
Yeah, you
So
can always ask, like, would you ever consider giving him back?
Like
Or
yeah,
it's not rude to ask. Like I
I
mean, it's
mean,
fine to
if
ask.
she wants to keep him, that's totally fine with me.
Yeah,
But
no, no,
if
no.
she doesn't want, like, if she wants to give him back to me, that is also amazing. Like that, either way, like he's
Either
happy.
way, it's fine
Either way,
basically.
yeah, because it's like I can feel that, but in a weird way. Like for example, Django actually belonged to my friend, but I don't. If he always like asks, like, can I have him back? I'm like, no, no,
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
I
good.
don't want to take him back if she wants him because
Oh yeah, like as
we're
long
like
as you're not sorry, I
on the.
didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
No, go.
Yeah,
Me
I don't
or
like I don't want to take him back if she loves him and wants him because she's amazing and she's a great friend and like I really appreciate her taking him for me in the first place. So like if she, it just said that to be like sweet and cute and like is really planning to like keep him and not give him back to me at all, then like that is totally great. Like she is such a good person and like he's happy with her clearly cuz he's like thriving. So like I don't mind that at all. Like she has way less animals than I do too. So like he can have more attention with her and everything. So like that's totally fine with me. And she's more established in life. Like she's a mom and she's in nursing school and she's a really great person and she works really hard. So like obviously if she wants to keep him, that's his home.
yeah,
But if
Yeah,
she
plus
wants to
there's
get
no
rid of
harm
him,
in asking. That's
of
what I
I
was
course.
gonna
think
say.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
as long as you're
I'm gonna discuss it.
polite. Like, I mean, like if she says no, like as long as you're cool about that, like that's fine. But like there's no harm in asking. It doesn't make you rude or something like that. Like it's
No, no.
totally okay to ask. Um
Yeah.
I was gonna speak about the virus. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I originally was going to go to Japan over the summer and my trip basically they were like no. Like it got canceled. I had to like go through everyone and get cuz I had already booked like my Airbnbs and stuff and I
Uh,
had to get it refunded because like they were just like we're not letting in people probably until like August. And I was like, "Oh, okay. That's
that
fine."
stinks. I've
yeah,
always wanted to go to Japan and Italy, and both of those places are not good right now.
No, I feel that. I wanted like my mom was planning like that next year to go to like this whole like Europe trip and all like Italy and all that and it's like everything got canceled because
yeah.
like it's they don't know like it's literally like it's weird because like there's no international travel right now, but like you can still apparently like in some places in the US like travel, and apparently everyone's like plane tickets are so cheap. This sucks. Like because you really
Yeah.
shouldn't be going anywhere, but they're apparently like really cheap right now. I don't know. I saw a TikTok about it. Don't quote me on that, but
No,
Hopefully,
they are,
'cause
because
I plan to
my
go.
fiance's sister like took her spring break no matter what, so she flew to us, and they did take precautions in the airport, but it was still pretty stupid. But she was already set on it, and it's like I can't really like stop her, like like they stayed in a hotel, so we did see them, and we hung out and we like did stuff, but we didn't do anything like with a lot of people or around crowds of people or anything.
mhm.
So we played it pretty safe, but she flew down here for $30.
Oh
That's
wow.
not that's
What
not
So
bad at all.
I'm
yeah,
Man.
jealous.
Yeah,
Like
because I
normally
want
it's
to go
like
to
over a
Washington.
hundred easy or like 200.
yeah, to fly up to NorCal right now, I don't even want to know, but like normally it's like a good 130 just to fly like a 2 hour flight to Northern California. I don't need I it's probably really cheap right now. I haven't
But
looked. I
wait,
don't want to
it's
look.
to North Cal? That's where I am, right?
Yeah.
Because to travel down to you, it costed me like 300-400. How did you get 200? Was
Wait,
it?
really?
It
I don't
cost
know. It's
like
It
to go to
changes though. Like
business.
at least for me, I know plane ticket prices change a lot.
That
I
probably why. So I'm like,
yeah,
well,
I'm
it was wait during Christmas. Never mind.
oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
No, I was
It,
really excited because like I remember telling you, Taylor, that I was gonna be coming up like next month to like and I wanted to like meet up in person,
I
but
know,
like
right?
I'm not anymore because like the concert I was going to, it's like canceled. It's rescheduled for October. So it's like months away now.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, it's okay. Like, I mean, I couldn't, even if it wasn't canceled, I wouldn't be able to go because shout out to my autoimmune disorder crowd. I can't, I literally haven't been able to leave my house in like 2.5 weeks. I've just been stuck in my
I've
room
been
because,
stuck here too. Like
oh
it's
yeah,
my.
driving me crazy. Like my friend came over because he had to pick up his flask that he ordered for me and all that. And I literally had to watch him like a dog through a window. Like, darn. Like,
Oh,
because my
that's.
mom will let me out. My mom's like, if I can't see my friend or my son, you ain't gonna do nothing. Like, you ain't gonna risk me to get this at all. So I'm like watching my friend through a window. It's like
um,
the dog. I'm like, I feel the dog.
I'll see you
I
when the
feel
pandemic's
that.
over.
Like I've been lucky that like my partner and like my best friend have been able to go out and buy me like my groceries and stuff, and I give them grocery lists because like I can't leave my room because like my mom is still working and stuff, and like because of like to put in perspective, not like to gain like sympathy points or anything, but when I get a common cold I end up in the hospital sometimes because my fever will get to 104 and it won't break, like regardless of Tylenol or like ibuprofen or anything, like it just won't break and it gets to like 104 usually. So like this could literally like jeopardize me, if that makes any
Well,
sense,
yeah.
as horrible as that sounds.
You probably have like an whatever
I
immune.
do. I have an autoimmune disorder. I am mine is specifically towards the fact that I don't create enough white blood cells.
Yeah,
Like my
I'm
body just does not produce them like it should, and it like it they because like I didn't they don't know if it was like a late onsetting because my mom has lupus. They don't know if it's like early onset lupus. Or what they were saying is that basically when I was 14 I like got this really bad like infection and they don't know where it came from, like, and I almost died, and they don't know if that was the cause, like it was just beginning in puberty, or if because of that it forever like detrimented my immune system. But like basically yeah, like I have to be very careful, like my body sometimes will have flare ups where I'm not even sick, but my body will start attacking itself when I get really stressed out. So I can get high fevers and stuff like that. So like it
uh,
just my life is like I feel like I'm in a bubble. Like
yeah. Isn't there something called for when your body attacks itself? I forgot what it's called.
it's yeah, I don't know what it's called. Like I
I
know
think
what it's
it's like
called.
autoimmune in general, because I like
Yeah,
technically, I mean, I don't really, but hypothyroidism is kind of in that category. Like my
Mhm.
immune system's fine, but my thyroid attacks itself. So like, I think it just depends on what you have.
Yeah. That
But
must be suck that your body will just basically be like, I'm gonna
yeah,
attack myself today,
like I
It's
can't feel it happen, obviously, but like the side effects are like annoying. My side
That's
effects are really
what
scary though,
side
because you
effects
don't know.
do you have, like, out of curiosity?
So I thought I had a brain tumor
Oh
when I
God.
first before I was diagnosed, because I was diagnosed when I was like 21 or 22, so I was in college, and for my freshman year I was fine, like I was okay. Sophomore year I noticed like, wow, was I always this stupid? And then like at the end of my sophomore year and the beginning of my junior year, I was like, I can't focus, like I really can't handle my schoolwork. But this is weird because I like this schoolwork. It's not as hard. Like it's not harder than anything I did before. Why is this happening to me? And I thought maybe just stress and like, like all that stuff was getting to me because
Mhm.
at the time I had like a really stressful job too. So I thought it was like stress. And I was struggling at my job too. And like I just was like, well, I'm better than like this is weird. And like I was constantly hungry. Like I was hungry all the time and I started gaining like a ton of weight really fast. So I was like, oh my God, what if I have a brain tumor? And like I would literally be holding a conversation with somebody and like right in the middle of the conversation I would totally forget what we were talking about, like
Oh, that's
everything. Like I would
scary.
forget the whole
Ooh,
thing.
that's horrible.
And it was so like it made me so embarrassed. And like one time I didn't like eat on time, like I didn't get a snack quickly enough, and I actually started passing out on this like chair, and my friend like found me as I was like, like passing out, and I was like,
Oh wow.
"Can you get me a muffin? Like here's my card, like please go get me something. Like I can't stay conscious." Like I really thought something was really wrong with me. And so I had full blood panels done and everything, and they were like, "Oh, it's your thyroid," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's it. Like that's it." And they were like, "Yeah." So they my doctor put me on Synthroid, and I've been totally fine ever since. Like I still have the weight problem, but like that's more of me having a lack of self control than than
I
I
don't have
feel
self
that.
control. This is why I'm over 200 pounds, girl. I have no
yeah. Like
self
I
control.
have
I have no
um
self control right
you're
now, but
you're totally fine. Like I have I just have a plethora of problems. That's like literally I don't know where my genetics went wrong cuz none of my brothers do. It's just me, just me. I have a low functioning metabolism. My metabolism doesn't work right, so I don't process food normally. So like I have to be on a strict like 1200 calorie a day diet or I will gain weight, like a ton of weight because like my metabolism doesn't work right. So I'm on metabolism stabilizers too. And it's just annoying. Like I'm like, really? Like I work out, I go on like 3 mile hikes like once a week and it's just like my body's like, no, no, like you
Wait,
gonna gain weight easily.
oh, that stinks.
wait, there's
Yeah, I
pills
don't
help
gain weight
you
easily, but I
metabolize?
can't lose it easily.
Oh, yeah. So um I mean, it's not the, like, diet pills, like,
Well,
cause
yeah, but my
it's
metabolism sucks.
you should talk to your doctor then. I'm forgetting my name right now. I'll text it to you later, cause like, I don't wanna go find my pills. But, uh basically, like, because, like, they did tests on me and they found out, like, my metabolism, like, it stores, like, everything, like, my body's in constant starvation mode and they think that's due to the fact that I've always had a low functioning one, but also when I was 17, my stomach issues, like I've talked with you guys, like with my stomach ulcers and like how I get sick and sometimes can't keep food down for 2 weeks on end. Like they think that that really set it into motion so that my body just doesn't react normally now to food at all. And it just constantly thinks like I'm starving. And it's weird because like I don't have normal hunger responses either. Like I'm never hungry. Um, but yeah, so they think that's why like I have my low metabolism, like not high functioning, I should say. But
Yeah,
yeah, they
mine are not
basically
physically.
they were trying like I was on like very strict dietary restrictions for a while, like just cause like it was like I literally like I said, I eat over 1,200 calories and I'll gain weight. Like I would gain like 2 pounds a week just from eating like 1,500 calories. And they basically like they right now we're trying different metabolism stabilizers to see if that'll help. And it's been a process. Like I'm not like severely like not that there's anything wrong with this, but like I'm not like severely overweight. It's just like for me personally growing up, like I was always super skinny, and then I hit like middle school, high school when my conditions started showing up, and I just gained like more weight than I was comfortable with. And
Yeah, that's how it is for me. Like nothing against like anybody else. Like it just for me, I'm so unhappy. So I'm like, I got to get my shit together.
yeah, that's literally me.
Me, see, I
But,
self-sabotage. I don't know if you guys do it, but I self-sabotage all the time. I'm horrible with that. Like, I need to go exercise. I'm like, nope, you're gonna sit your butt
but no, that's how I
and
am.
sit there and just eat your life. I just self-sabotage.
I have
My stuff is not physically, my stuff is mentally. Like, I mentally have different, like, different things mentally. I don't think normal like normal people do. So, like, I can be happy, angry, anxiety, like all this. I'm like, it is all in the head for me. Not like schizophrenia. Don't think I'm like crazy, okay? I'm not crazy, but
it's
emotional.
it's okay. I'm literally
I'm not
I'm a
crazy.
bipolar diagnosed. I'm bipolar, so you're literally nothing sounds crazy to me. I'm bipolar, and schizophrenia runs in my family, so you're totally fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
Alright.
me, I can stop. Like I want to do things, and I'm like, nope. I'm gonna sit here and self sabotage, and I do it, and I'll even tell myself get up, and I'm like, haha, no. I have
Yeah,
to really, literally have to pry myself up, and I still hate it. Like I hate it. I don't know, and like I don't know if I wish it was like dream, like you can't dream. I hate dreaming. People enjoy it. I physically cannot stand it because I'm not
I don't
pleasant.
either. I don't like
It's not
dreaming.
pleasant.
Me
Um
neither.
I lucid dream. So when I'm dreaming, it's honestly okay, fun little story time of like everything that's wrong with Ciara. But when I was a kid, I had sleep paralysis. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically like your body wakes up, but your mind doesn't realize you're awake in a sense, so you're still dreaming, so you see stuff like while you're awake. Um and you're stuck like kind of frozen like you're paralyzed, like you can't move. And I
Yeah.
had that as a kid, and that turned into when I hit like 'cause I grew out of the sleep paralysis, but when I became a teenager where I don't have sleep paralysis, but when I'm dreaming, I usually realize I'm dreaming, but I can't make myself wake up. And it is the worst. Like I'm like, not again. Like, please, not again, you
Oh, that's
know?
I have that. I can have that, but also mine are just not pleasant. Like I don't. I've never, in the longest time, I cannot say I had a pleasant dream, at all. And my dreams are so realistic that sometimes I'm like, is this real? Is this
Mm,
real?
yeah, I that my
yeah.
dreams are stupid. They're always like something that like I actually get them confused with like reality sometimes
Oh,
because
I
I
do
do
too.
too.
they'll be like something that would happen to me, but it's always like with a stressful undertone. Like even if it's something that's like pretty good that's happening, there's always like something like weighing down on me like in the dream, like I have to get somewhere at a certain time, or like a common thing is like something normal will be happening like in my life in my dream, and then I like but I won't have any clothes on, and like no one notices or cares, or like no one like addresses it in the dream, but like I'm incredibly self-conscious the whole time and like freaking out, like trying to find clothes and like trying to get out of the situation, but like I can't for whatever reason. It's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, mine are, I don't really want to talk about them because they get really bad. Just like a lot of it just has to involve with death, murder. See, I don't know, but like my friends say it's like you watch too many horror movies, but I can promise you I have not watched a horror movie in a good month. Nothing. So how is this horror movies? I haven't played a horror game. I've been playing Animal Crossing and Pokemon. How are those
I mean,
violent?
that's pretty horrific. Animal Crossing, you know, chopping down all those trees.
For real,
I'm
deforestation. But I'm like, and it's not. I'm like, I don't know, but I constantly every night I'm like, I've asked the doctor like, is there a medicine where I can't dream anymore, or I'm gonna literally keep myself up. I'm
I
almost
don't
that
know if
bad.
there is because it's like a natural brain response. It's like when your brain goes into like deep sleep, like REM. Um, I don't know. On a lighter note, speaking of Animal Crossing, like I have never played Animal Crossing in my life. So like I see all these Animal
It's
Crossing memes people are
awesome.
posting and I'm like, I don't understand. Like someone
They're
explain.
You do.
fire if you do understand them. They're so good. I love
They're
all these memes.
good. Especially, I saw the one where like I wish Animal Crossings were as mean as they used to, and he sits on the bug on the chair. I was like, yes.
I
He's
I love how, like, do you guys know how Isabelle or from Animal Crossing is in Super Smash Bros. One of them.
yeah, she's
I
not.
love the meme where it's like Tom Nook, like the little badger guy or whatever he is, when he's like, "Oh, Isabel, how was your time at Super Smash?" and it like cuts himself off and it pans onto her, and she's like incredibly muscular, like walking through the door. I'm like, oh my
Oh
god.
my god, great man! Animal Crossing surprisingly makes so much money for such a simple game.
I know.
Like,
I made an Espeon shirt today, like a pixelated Espeon shirt, and I'm
I
so
saw
proud of
that.
myself.
I was like, "Aw, psychic."
I'm
I
so proud of myself.
I
I
I'm
know,
so
right?
lost.
Yeah, you should be. Do you have a Switch?
My partner does, like, he's playing it, so when he's like done, which I don't think, because what I know is like Animal Crossing, from what I've heard, you're never really done.
No,
um
yeah.
but like I wanted
Unless
to.
you unless you build your town to what you want and then you just really demolish it. I've gotten New Leaf. I did that. I did so much in New Leaf that I was like, I don't know what to do other than kick out villagers and put new ones in.
I don't know. Can you guys explain it to me? Like, I'm a grandma. Like, I literally messaged
Well,
Taylor the other day and I was like, "Ma'am, what is Animal Crossing? Someone explain."
see, this
How
one's
does
a
one
little
Animal
bit
Crossing?
different. So it's
What?
like hard to explain because I'm not really good explainer. Basically, is you just it's basically life but with animals. Like you pay off things, but in this one you can actually make your own island to way you want. You can redesign it and everything. But in the other ones you couldn't. You were stuck wherever the villagers were, and that was annoying. I mean, you wanted to kick half the villagers out. But here you can actually choose where to put your villagers. But still to this day, I get stuck with the villagers I don't like. Besides three. Stella.
So,
Looking at you,
do
Stella.
villagers move out in this one, or do you just kick them out?
I think you can kick them out. I haven't got all the villagers yet, because I'm trying to get the ones I want in the camp. But then don't talk to them because if you talk to them in the camp, you're stuck with them. I got stuck with the ugly duck, and I'm so mad. I got Stella, which I don't like. I don't like sheeps, and then I got this duck.
Oh, the goth sheep. Oh yeah, I saw her. I met her.
The pink. Yeah, remember I told you you could take her.
Yeah,
You can have her,
I
and then I got this
tried.
duck. What's his name? Hold on. I actually can Google. I actually sent it to my friend. I'm like, I hate this game right now. What's his name? His
Me
name
just
is
sitting here trying to
Quilzen.
understand.
Quilzen. Why did I get stuck with Quilzen? I don't know if I said his name. It's a stupid duck. He thinks he's a celebrity, and he sings in my Animal Crossing. And it's so annoying. I'm like, shut up. I hit him with a net all the time. Like, shut up.
Oh,
And
is he
I'm like,
blue? Is he a blue duck?
yeah, he's green. Quilzen. He has
Oh, he's
hair.
green. Okay, I don't know. I don't think I had him in my last one. I think I had like a blue duck. Like he was like a dark blue.
I don't really know any of the ducks because my last game I had Drago, Kyle, the two eagles. I think it named Ace and Apollo. I know it's one of them was Apollo, and then I had another wolf. I think he was the other wolf. I forgot his name is, but he was all the way by himself, and I loved it. He was by himself. He actually went on a spot that I wanted to be in. And then I had Lionel, my favorite one. I love Lionel. Lionel has been with me since City Folk.
Oh, I see. I started in the Animal Crossing world on the last game for New Leaf. So like anything before New Leaf, I don't know.
Yeah, City Folk was my first one, and I love City Folk. That was actually really fun. And then I got New Leaf, and then I got another New Leaf. I bought two. I bought two New Leaves, and then I got this one, and then I have Benedek, Boots, Plucky. I think it's Plucky. Yeah, I want to call her Becky. And then Stella, the sheep, and then
The
Quilzy, which
soulless sheep.
yeah, I wanted so bad throw Stella and the duck over the cliff. So bad. I think sheeps are ugly. I'm sorry in Animal Crossing. They don't look cute.
I saw a
I don't
TikTok that was like, look at her soulless eyes. And like made me think of you and you're like, I don't like this sheep. I was like, you remind me of that TikTok.
seriously. I mean, they okay. Stella doesn't ever open her eyes. She always has them closed. But some reason she reminds me of Mariel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't know why. She does,
Oh, I
but I
meant
still think
to, not to totally derail or backtrack, but I meant to ask you guys, has the COVID-19 pandemic, has that like affected your ability to like care for your pets, like as far as getting food or anything, or has everything been kind
no.
of normal?
Um, I don't know on other people's end. Like I usually am always well stocked and I have my own breeding colonies of feeders. So I don't really ever have to go out and buy them. So like on my Leo's end it's been fine. And like right before like everything went like crazy, I ended up like happening to buy like a bunch of new Pangea. So
Same.
I
Okay.
don't know.
So you've been good. That's good.
I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you. I know some people have been running into issues. Like I saw someone complaining today about some site, I don't remember what, where they were like all of my like shipping stuff has been delayed. Like this is crazy. I don't think like Petco and PetSmart stuff has been closed down.
No.
Um
Haven't.
I don't know, but
It's still been.
That's good
I
though that you guys are fine. Or Taylor, is it okay on your end too?
See, yeah, because I get mine from Amazon through Josh's Frog through Amazon. So I get
oh
it.
okay.
So I get it through Amazon through Josh's Frog, and then my Pangea, and then that new stuff from Zoology, whatever that I finally got after forever.
You literally are gonna have to tell me how that goes because I've
I know.
never heard of
I
that brand.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try it out, and if it's said it's kept a couple of weeks, you better be bright. You better brighter than the sun. You better glow in the dark. Like,
Be iridescent.
seriously. For a second, I thought the other one, though, like the melatonin, I was like, wait, it's not for albinos? And I was like, oh my god, he's not albino, he's an eternal albino. I'm like, oh no. I mean, it's not bad to turn albino. I mean, I do like the black and white ones, but I don't even know what those are called. I've been trying
Um,
to.
I the black and white ones. Okay, so like, do you mean the all white, like lily whites?
No,
Is that
like
what
they're
you're?
like black. Like I want like the black
Oh,
and that
like the one like
white.
Spinel and like Peanut, because Peanut fires up like jet black. They're usually like I this is really bad, but like I've heard people call them like someone I knew used to like when I was sold Spinel, she called her like a cookies and cream pin. I don't think that's their official name, but I like that name, so I call them
That is
cookies and
cute.
cream.
I'll send you a picture of one that I really am obsessed with.
They're usually like referred to as like their coloring, so like I think they are like something like I don't know if they're called melanistic like in other hobbies.
Actually, that picture on the feed food had that picture of that, like that type of color. And I wanted to look for it, but I settled for the extreme Harley because I couldn't find anything like that. And the one that I did find that
Oh,
was similar
Harleys are
was like
beautiful.
$1,000. And I was like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a crested gecko.
Yeah, Lily, it probably had Lily White in it. Lily Whites are extremely, extremely, extremely expensive, especially if they have a different coloration, like if they're red Lily Whites or like darker Lily Whites. They have a very high price tag. Because I love Lily Whites. I don't think I'll ever breed them because it's too much of a payout for me personally. Like I don't know, I don't think I could personally spend like $1,000 plus dollars on one crested gecko.
See, how I see it though, it's like you're never guaranteed it's gonna live.
I see it more as like from a breeding standpoint because like the babies are like 1,000, so the adults are even more expensive. Is that like if you buy a baby, which is like 800 to 1,000, you're not guaranteed a sex because like even if they can check for pores for male, like on young crested geckos with a jeweler's loop, but they might not even be apparent yet. They might just be overlapping scales at that point. And if you have overlapping scales on an animal, it can go 50-50. And like my whole standpoint from a breeding standpoint is like you could end up with two male like lily whites, like say you bought them from like a young age, or two females like just by chance, and then you're kind of like screwed. Like not to sound like rude, but you're literally screwed because you spent all this money into a project and you don't have a confirmed gender. um
Or you can trade. I mean, you can always trade though too.
Yeah, but
If
like
you have a female, you can always trade for the male or the male for the
but
female.
like lily whites, it's like at least from what I've noticed because they are so high they're like kind of like I don't know if you guys know, but like in leopard geckos black knights where they're
Yeah.
very new to the trade, so there isn't a lot of like trading. It's not like something like say you had a super snow eclipse tremper or like you
Oh,
have a galaxy, like you can trade those because those like well they are higher pricing morphs, they are more readily available
Yeah.
versus like newer morphs, at least from what I've noticed. I am not gonna quote for everybody, but from what I've seen, like lily whites are very strictly like no trading. Like, and most people aren't willing to part with their lily whites once they know a confirmed gender. It's usually like the offspring that they're willing to part with.
I was
Because
gonna say
lily,
because I'm like I did see someone saying they're willing to trade their little whites. They had two lily whites for trade for something else. I was like, oh, if only if I had this thing that they had for trade. They were I don't
Oh
know
my
what they were looking
gosh.
for, but they had two lily whites and I think a gargoyle gecko, but they were nice. And yeah, I was like trade for these.
I'm not too familiar with gargoyle morphs. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I
I'm
haven't
not the
eaten
most
gargoyles
familiar.
because I just they don't please me, so I don't really pay attention to gargoyles. Like
Yeah,
out of all the Orioles, I think like Tokis and Lychees and Crusties are the only ones that I like.
I really want a lychee one day. Like low key but high key. I really want a lychee.
I'm gonna
Um,
get Tegu.
I
I'm
want
like,
a blue tongue skink. So like
me,
that's probably my
me.
next reptile.
You're gonna have to send me pictures because I don't have the spacing for one right now, and nor the time. I definitely
yeah,
want
type
one one
in
day. But I love blue tongues. Like, oh my God. I love red tegus, blue tongues, and lychees. My only issue with lychees is that you get one of two personalities. You get either a total puppy dog one or one that is very, very aggressive, and their bites can do a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, they can make you numb to your fingers. They can like
Yeah,
they
and
eat other animals. We're talking about if you when you compare it to an animal that eats other animals that can, I'm like, yeah. But I want a Toki. I want a Toki over a Lychee.
like a
Wait, so
tokay
lychees
gecko.
eat other animals?
Huh?
Lychees eat other animals?
Yeah, Lychees can would eat small crested geckos in the
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I
they're
just
brutes.
figured they were like big crested geckos. Well,
Oh
I
no.
mean, I know
Well,
they
I
kind of
mean,
are in a sense, but
they are omnivores, so like they do eat Pangea as well, but they have the ability to eat other
yeah.
like it's more like it's like with crested geckos how they're opportunistic. Lychees are very much the same. They're
Wait,
opportunistic.
would a crested gecko eat another animal?
They eat insects.
I was gonna say like insects. Well, I don't really call insects animals, sadly.
Well, I mean, I was more talking in the fact that like because like technically if an animal eats an insect, it's considered an omnivore. Like I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
leopard geckos are considered carnivores, which is hilarious, but they are literally considered carnivores because they only eat other animals. So they're opportunistic. Like I don't know if you like I know people like with crested geckos, they don't need to eat bugs. Like if you have meal replacement, they're fine, and usually most crested geckos are opportunistic in the sense where in the wild they would eat a bug because they have nothing else to eat, but like once they pass like a year and a half to a year, they usually, if they're in captivity and they're fed like a well-fed Pangea diet or Repashy or any of those, they tend to lose their interest in bugs just because they don't have a need for them. It's more like when they're young, it's like hunting is fun for them, but when they get old, they're like, I don't need it. I don't want it. Like all of my cresteds that I've raised up, like once they hit a certain age, they don't want bugs anymore. Or some like Peach has never taken a bug. Like I've tried multiple different insects and she just doesn't want them. Um so it just depends. Like crested geckos are very opportunistic in the sense where like if they're like I have my Pangea, I'm fine. Like that's just kind of them. I don't
yeah.
know
Eating
leafies if it's similar.
crickets. My crested gecko, he loves crickets, but I never see him fruit. But he eats fruit because obviously he poops. And now I'm starting to see them now that I'm being more observant. I'm like, okay, there it is. But it
Oh
does wash away. You were correct when you explained that. I'm like,
yeah, I
it's
told
great.
you.
And I was like, that poop that was sitting there is not there anymore. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, no, that happens with Peachy a lot. Like, cause she's so tiny, and literally, like sometimes I'll spray her cage and the poop's just like, bite, I'm out. So like,
Just
it
gone.
ha-
Yeah.
it has to hit the floor usually for me to see it. Cause if she poops on something, like, cause she loves for some reason pooping on the little wood piece she has in her little enclosure, it's gone. Like, I have no time to like. It could be there 1 second on like her paper towel roller on that, and then like I spray down and it's gone. Like there's no coming back for that poop. Like it's gone.
Yeah.
That
I'm
is the
like,
thing I
kind of
love.
disgusting though. Like how it disappears, but I know it's water. I'm like, I
It's just
wonder how
weird.
it's in the garden.
That's the thing I love about not having arboreal species. Like at least like I don't have to worry about poo everywhere. Like it's just on the
No,
ground.
I don't have to worry about this. So far, knock on wood, he's been good. He's never pooped on me. He's never rubbed poop on the wall. Nothing. He's
Can't
really
relate.
good. I'm like, I'm scored.
I have
So,
one leopard gecko, Saturn, and he is the worst. Like he's worse than any of my crusteds because he likes to poop like where he decided his poop corner was like there's a little like he has one of those huge rock hides. He poops in between that and the glass, so it gets stuck between that and the glass and like smushed.
Oh
And
no.
he walks all over, so he'll walk through it too. So it's just all over his cage. Like I literally constantly am cleaning out his cage because he is
courage is
just
the
nasty.
word. Courage
I don't
actually.
even. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Courage actually poops where she sleeps. I'm like, why would you want to sleep where?
One of my
Why
my
would you want to sleep there? She does. She poops where she sleeps.
they have no care. One of mine, it makes for an easy clean. She only poops in her moist hide, opal, so I can just like switch out paper towels super easily and it's nice. But sometimes like I'll literally I swear she does it on purpose. Like I'll put in a new like fresh sheet when she's about to shed and like cuz I clean it out every 2 to 3 days. And she'll immediately go in there and poop when she has to shed and I'm like, "Really? Like you got to do me like that right now? Like come on."
Have you guys been pooped on by leopard geckos?
No.
I have.
Really? Never.
I remember one day I was crying because Django wasn't eating, literally was crying, and he pooped on me. I was like, really? And as soon as I put him in the cage, he ate a cricket. I was so
You're just a little
excited.
backed up.
Have you run into that, Tiffany? I've never had that.
Oh, it stinks. I
My
think reptile shit stinks.
I've only ever had my bearded dragon Renzo poop on me, which is like devastating. Like when a
That's
beard oh my god,
horrifying.
bearded dragon's poop is like the worst. Like my tegu's pretty bad because she eats raw meat, but my bearded dragons are a super close second, if not the first stinkiest of. Like I don't even know
Yeah.
why I said that thing about the arboreal species because my bearded dragons are poop painters. So
Oh
they like walk
no.
through it and like just start wiggling around, and I'm like,
Oh
why?
no.
No
Like my
what?
tegu will
Yeah.
avoid her poop. Like if she goes to the bathroom, she lifts her tail and then rubs her tegu parts like on the ground to like wipe herself off, and she totally avoids it and like will avoid it like from then on until I get it. But my
That's
bearded
how.
dragons are like and then like run through it, and I'm like, why?
Yep, that's Saturn. Yep.
Yep. You know what? Aku did that when I had Aku before I found him a home. He would poop. Oh my god, better dragon poop is so rancid, and he was
It's
in my
awful.
room. I would smell it, and I'm like, oh god, he went to the bathroom. You can tell. And
Yeah.
he would run through it. You
Uh,
would see it all over the tile, and he would just, and it would be on him. I would have to rinse him off, and he would
Yeah, that's
again.
when I have to bathe them is usually after an episode of like, oh my god, I blew every like all over the tank. Like, oh, they're so gross. But like I love them so much. I mean, bearded dragons are my favorite reptile to keep, so it's like a small price to pay
You
for
and
how
my
much
partner would get
enrichment they bring to
along.
my life.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel
beardeds are like
because like
my.
I
Oh, go
know
ahead.
everyone loves bearded dragons. Oh, sorry, I know everyone loves bearded dragons, but after having Aku, I'm like, they're my least favorite
Oh
lizard. I don't
really?
know why. I think Aku. I mean, he didn't do anything. He just sat there. And then I see everyone else's bearded dragons doing interesting. He never waved. The coolest thing he did was fetch.
Oh,
He
that's
would.
cool.
That was the
That's funny.
coolest thing he did, but he was still boring. He would just sit there and judge you. But I don't know. I just never. I tried so hard with him to be like, are they cool? And it just never intrigued me enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like totally awesome if they're not for everybody because they are so common and like oversaturated in the reptile trade. But
Yeah.
I just, they're still my favorite. Like, I just think they
Our
are so
personality.
fascinating. So,
Uh, I mean, like for me personally, I don't think like I personally would keep a bearded just because like my partner has one, and when we live together, I guess I have one technically too. They just are something like a species that personally for me, minus like zeros, have never really interested me that much. Like they're like I have leopard geckos, and I don't need more like chill animals. Like I want something a little bit more active per se. Like I know
yeah.
some beardies can be, but some beardies are just a little too chill for me. Just I don't know that it's just something I've always kept Leos since I was a kid. I don't know. I never had
They
an
like fill
interest.
that spot of like hangout buddy.
Yeah. Like I mean, I think they're cute. Like I love my partner's bearded. Like Drogon's literally my soulmate. But like I personally for me also it's just like a lot of upkeep and maintenance with them because
Yeah.
like you said when they poop it's like it clears a room. Like I know
Oh yeah.
firsthand. It clears
Yeah.
a room with like leopard geckos. Like I don't know for me I've never really noticed it. Like
They
you'll see
stink.
it but I mine don't that bad.
Well, if
Only
they
like
poop on you,
Saturn.
though,
Well, I've
like
never been
he
pooped
pooped
on,
on
so
me,
I
it was
wouldn't
like
know.
I almost threw up. I was like, Django, don't ever do that again, ever. I didn't know he pooped. Know how I found he pooped on me? I started I was like, what the hell is this smell? And I'm
Oh
looking
no.
down. Oh, you didn't. You didn't
So,
just sit.
Nellie,
And you just
Professor
sit there
Nellie has
happy.
pooped on my bed.
Oh no. How was that?
It was gross. It was horrible. I was like, Nelly, why? Because when she poops in her sand, it like gets covered in sand, and like you don't
Yeah.
really smell it. So like it, like you just clean it, it's fine. But she went on my bed, and it was it was so bad. We had to wash the sheets. My fiance was pretty disappointed in me. And my Tegu Kai, when I used to take Kaiju out when she was like really little, every single time I had to put a towel under her because she poops like as soon as I would take her out. And like she doesn't do it anymore. Or if she does, like I'll know when she's gonna do it because it's like if it's her like I just got up for the day, that's usually
Hmm.
when she starts becoming active and she basks and then she's active again. That's when she goes. So like I'll wait until
Until
she
it happens.
and then I'll let her come out because I let her come out on her own now because she'll come out when she wants to and she'll like explore and it's like her favorite thing. Like she like it's like she's like enjoying herself. It's really cute.
That's
So
so cute.
if you want an active reptile, tegus are definitely active
I
Yeah,
reptiles.
really want a tegu.
they're definitely my dream lizard for
Yeah,
sure.
me too.
I
Tegus are
have a
like
question for you, Tiffany. What cage do you have? I forgot your Tego's name just right now. I actually blanked out. Uh,
Kaiju. Kai.
Kaiju. Sorry, I'm gonna forget a lot of animals' names. That's just my habit.
Oh,
my
that's fine. I'm
mood.
terrible with
The time
names.
stuff. And do you keep her in like I remember you were talking about like a grow room type of cage. Have
So she's in a grow tent.
Yeah,
And it's
thing.
been working great. Like she seems happy in it. Like she goes back into her tent all by herself. Like she's just like, "Oh, this is my house," and like will hop back in. So she
And she
likes
can't
it.
rip it.
Huh?
And she can't rip it or anything. Because I would think that it's like an aluminum, like it's
No,
not cheap
yeah,
fabric where she can't rip it or anything.
that's what I thought. Like I asked around a lot before I did it because I saw that like a lot of people did it, but I was like, tegus have some claws on them. So I was like, do they really not try to get? I mean, I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could bust out of it. But I think
Hmm.
they're just so happy like in their enclosures when they're set up right that there's really no reason to. Like I think if they really hardcore was desperate to get out, then they could. But I've heard of people in my Tegu Facebook group that are like mine have tried and like they can't or they don't try hard enough. I don't know. And then like my cat Kuno, who's actually sitting next to me right now, driving me nuts. She tries to scratch it because she knows it'll annoy me to like feed her at like 4 a.m. So nobody's been able to get into it from the outside either.
She's
So they're
trying.
a lot
I don't
hardier
want to
than they
release him.
They're like, let her out. We're ready. back on like not to go back on the poop subject, but I just wanted to weigh in. Like none of I love that. Love our 20-minute conversation on poop. Um Wirt is the worst. Like none of my other crusteds have ever pooped on me. Never, never, never. Spinel once I accidentally woke her up and she peed on me. Like that was the worst I've ever dealt with. Wirt, like I swear to God, he waits. He waits until he comes out to poop. Like it's not even funny at this point. Like he literally will come out and like will poop on me and he'll shoot it at me. Like I've never seen
Oh my god.
I've talked about this. I didn't know cresteds could do that, but he does it. Like he poops, he pees, and he releases sperm plugs all at once, right at me or on me. And I'm like, it's fine. So it's
What
gotten to the
sperm
point.
plugs?
He's like, here we go. I saved it for you, mom.
Yeah, he's like, welcome.
like
And I like always like when I first take him out, maybe it's mean, but I literally put him down on a towel and I'm like, you sit there. I know what's coming. Like literally before photo shoots, he always sits on a towel because I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until you go because I know you're gonna go. Because like if not, he would go during the photo shoot. Like he has no, and it's not even like because I know some crusteds people are like it occasionally happens. I'm like, no, every time I take him out, it happens, and it's not even like a fear response because he's not breathing heavy, he's not panicked, he's not frozen. He just apparently I'm his favorite spot to go on. Like I don't know what it is, but I'm like, okay, okay, I see. I see how it is. Where
Oh my gosh.
I
That's
have a question.
awful.
but I love
Are
him.
those two white things on the crescent at the end of their like vent
Hmm.
plugs? Like, I look at him like my crescent gecko, and these little two white little specks are on his little vent area. Are those plugs?
So usually when they release their plugs, like this is very gross and graphic warning for everyone that's listening, including you guys. Because I've seen Peanut do it in his enclosure, and I've seen Wirt do it on me multiple times. So basically, like what happens is they actually project out their hemipenes and they proceed to lick them, like lick it off their like hemipenes. So it might be a urate. Like usually when I've seen crested geckos, when they release sperm plugs, they usually lick themselves clean. It's
That's only
disgusting.
adults, right?
What?
That's only for adults. Like I won't have to worry about that for a long.
No, you won't have to. Wirt just recently started doing it like when he hit a year. But before that, like maybe not even a year, like maybe a year and a couple months, he started doing that. Um, but yeah, that was something. Like the first time he did it, I panicked because I thought like I was like, oh my God, did he just like what's going like there's no female. He's not trying to make why is it out? And then I saw him lick himself clean. I was like, oh,
And will they do without a female? Like they just do it, right?
yeah, yeah, no, they're yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are
Like
they
that's
just
the
little
best way I can.
nasty? Their males are just little nasty little creatures.
Yes,
Little
yeah.
nasties.
Males are nasty. Like everyone that's like, I want a crested gecko. I'm like, if you get a male, be ready. Like they, like all my females are super calm, super chill. Like I've never had an aggression phase with them. Peanut's never been aggressive, but he's definitely more flighty than any of my females are, and he's definitely done the sperm plug stuff. Wirt is just like when males go through their puberty phase, they are something. Like I think they stress themselves out. Like they get very territorial, very cage aggressive, um,
Do they
very
bites hurt?
disgust. What?
Do their bites hurt? Or they're not worse than their leopard gecko.
Oh God, no. Wirt's bitten me or tried multiple times when he was younger, and it wasn't like anything my doing. Like I would reach in my hand to like pick out his food cup, and he'd come over and be annoyed, and he'd bite me because I was in his space. Um, it doesn't hurt. It never, I never, like, I've had leopard geckos accidentally bite me when I'm hand feeding, or like, baby melon bit me and he's tore skin. And we're like, he bit and I didn't even feel it. It doesn't even hurt. Like, it's just more shocking. Like, it feels like wet and moist, and you're just like, oh, oh, oh.
Oh. See,
Okay.
that's interesting because when my I never knew that about cresteds because mine didn't go through that like kind of stage, which I'm very grateful for because he was a male, but or he still is a male. But my leopard geckos have drawn blood. Like they never bite me on purpose. It's always like a feeding response. Like it's
Yeah.
always like when I'm gonna feed them. And they're like, "Oh, you're trying to grab the water bowl, but is that your hand or a cricket? I'm just gonna go for it." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
That
ouch."
Coach scares me. She is such a fatty. She's like No, Eclipsa. Oh my god, I have videos of her. She's like, food? Everything's food. But now she's calmed down. She doesn't do that as much anymore. But when there's food in there, it's fair game to anything.
Definitely, I want to say with leopard geckos, feeding response bites hurt way more than defensive bites. Because I've had defensive bites when baby Melon was younger. He doesn't really bite anymore, thank God. But they hurt. But like,
I
Opal
don't know. I think
before,
they differ. I
Opal,
think they differ.
she has bitten me feeding response, and like she'll try. Like she's accidentally bitten me a few times because she's very food responsive, and she like has wiggled her head and tried to like really like arrange in my finger like it's a worm, and that hurt. Like I was like, okay, okay, let go, let go. It's been like 30 seconds. Let go. It's not food. It's not food. Please let go.
Yeah, no. Bubblegum, he'll still hold on. He'll hold on for a while.
Wait,
He'll make me
really?
think about it. He'll make me think about the next.
Okay, ow.
It's
Um, like that's why I can't even imagine when like because I've talked about it before in like the episode that's coming out tomorrow. I talk about it more, but I've been bitten by a berm before, and that was I don't know how people deal with big snakes. Like I've been bitten by a BCI and a berm, and like it didn't scare me or anything, but it did hurt. It definitely hurt. Like I've been bitten by a ball python, and it was like whatever, go off. But like the berm, like I was like it felt like I got punched. Like I was like, oh my God, because they have so
Ow.
much force behind them, and you're like, oh, okay,
don't they have shredded? Yeah, they have shredded teeth. So you're being.
That's horrifying. See, I'm scared of snake bites, which I think is part of the reason why I don't own any snakes. I'm terrified of them. Like I don't know why, because like I have kaiju who like
yeah,
is big enough now that she could definitely do some damage, and I definitely am like low key terrified of her biting me. But she's so sweet. Like she's really a nice tegu, and she is like 8 months old now, so she's definitely going through her puberty, and she's
yeah.
like really nice. Like she had a period there where she would throw her body through her tent door to get to her food. And the first time she did it, I screeched because it scared the hell out of me. I was just
Coming
like,
from
I
her.
caught that.
the hell. But
The
like I was like terrified. Like I was like I thought I didn't know, like my brain didn't register that it was her, even though like what
yeah.
else would be in her tent. But I was just like, oh my God, and like I fell back on the floor, and then she just kind of flew out of her tent and landed on the floor, and then went up and started eating her food that I dropped all over the floor. And Mike came running, my man, he came running down the hallway, and he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, Kaiju just threw her body out the door. He was like, what are you talking about? So like she went through a little phase with that, but like she doesn't do that now, but she did it for like a week, and I was just like, after a while I was like, all right, I'm ready, and I would like hold the flap open, and she but she stopped doing it. So
I'm
like,
curious, where did you get kaiju from?
so
Yeah, I was
I
curious that
was
too.
not responsible when I bought her. I bought her from but she is beautiful and she's very healthy, so like it was fine. But I bought her from Aquatics and Exotics, the place is called, and I found out later probably not the best place to buy her from. But there was like a couple of them, and they all looked really good, so like I was like, oh, this is fine, because the breeder I was looking into, he doesn't go to reptile expos. So,
Uh-huh.
and I don't like having animals shipped if I can help it, because
Oh
I
yeah.
prefer to meet them first. That's like the only real reason. Like I'm sure like there's responsible shipping, but like I just like to see them first, and I couldn't get down to him. And I was at this reptile expo, and she was there, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. So like I just looked at all of her toes. I looked at her vent. I looked at like her eyes and nostrils, and like I just kind of like looked at everything that I normally would look at to make sure, like, is this a healthy reptile, at least at like a a physical glance. And like she was fine, so I was like, okay. And then I found out later the breeder that they buy them from, like they buy from several different breeders, so it really just depends on who they buy from.
So they flip. They buy.
So I got a good batch.
So wait, they buy and flip?
Yeah, so I guess like that's what they did with I actually also bought Nellie from them too. Because she was beautiful. And like I know the one guy that works, well, I don't know him, but I talked to the one guy that works there. He probably doesn't know who I am. But I like always go to him cuz he's really nice and like gives me all the details. And he was telling me that like the people that they bought the Peter's Banded Skinks from, like they bought two of them because the rest of them weren't eating. So they only bought the two that were eating. So Nellie was one of them. And she eats, so he was not lying to me. So like I think they're okay, but I don't know. Like I haven't when I look into them it's kind of hard to find information, which makes it like seem kind of
Yeah.
sketchy to me. But I've bought like two animals from them so far, and like they're both like in great health. So
Yeah. Because
I'm like,
definitely,
eh.
I prefer buying in person too. Like I don't mind shipping. A lot of my animals have been shipped to me, but I just always have preferred buying in person because like I feel like I always ask people temperament, but you can never tell what an animal is going to be like once you have it. You know what I mean? Like they could be one way for one person and completely different for you. It just depends, you know? Um
Yeah.
and it's never bitten me thus far minus like some people are a little weird, like get a little like some breeders get weirded out where you're like they're like you want to know temperament, but you're breeding because like I definitely think temperament plays a role when you're breeding animals. Personally, I do think it does play a role.
Yeah,
Um,
that's important to know too, because what if you have a super highly aggressive male and with like this smaller passive female, like is she going to
yeah.
be able to eat? Like, you know, like that is important to know, I
I
think.
I
But
definitely think also I do think it does play into their offspring because I have seen people produce from aggressive animals and their offspring come out aggressive. Like there's no scientific data, but I definitely think it plays a part.
it
Luckily
doesn't
for
hurt to be cautious either, you know?
no, like there's some morphs that are just notoriously kind of defensive, like blizzards have like blizzard personality, whereas like super snow eclipses, they're very docile. Usually baby melon's a very interesting case, but they're usually very just passive, kind of chill, like little people call them the stoner leopard gecko. Like they're just very chill. Like Opal is literally the chillest animal I've ever met. Like she literally will walk out of her cage onto my hand and like I could just be in there like opening it and she immediately runs out and comes out to come hang out. And I've never had that experience. And all of my SSEs have been super cool. Like even like baby Melon, like it was just when he was a baby. Like now he's just a little flighty sometimes, but we're working on it and he's definitely calmed down a bunch by working on it. Um but yeah, like it just definitely depends. Like some more aggressive. Like, and it's weird to think that, but like it's something that I've always thought. Like I always ask temperament because, like you don't know, like. Or like when I am buying at a booth at the Reptile Expo, I always ask to hold them. Like Belle, I wanted to get another leopard gecko and I already had it set up, but I was actually going that day because I was like helping my friend buy like a ball python, but like I said, I already had the setup and everything, and I just was waiting to find a breeder. And I happened to find Belle at I want to say they were Golden Valley Reptiles table, and I saw some kid holding her, and I saw how calm and how sweet she was, and I was literally like, this kid can't buy her. I want her now. And
Get out of
I
here,
held
kid.
her literally, and I held her, and it was just like an immediate. I mean, I'm sure she didn't feel it, but I felt an immediate connection to her, and she was only like $30. And I was like, yeah, like I
Oh,
want
that's
her.
nice.
Yeah, she wasn't expensive or anything. I think it's just because she was an ex-breeder and they weren't necessarily selling her as pet only. They just were like not using her in projects anymore, I believe, if I was correct. But they just weren't using her in projects anymore. And yeah, and she's honestly been amazing, minus right now because she's ovulating and she hasn't eaten in like a month. Like she hasn't lost weight, but it's annoying me. Like she's
yeah,
only eaten like a worm here and there and or a dubia, and I'm like, please eat,
yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Jane
my
has done
one
that with
leopard
us.
gecko just did that.
How
Oh, sorry, you can go.
have you gone through ovulations before? Like how long do they usually last? Cause like I'm like, please eat, ma'am.
So for me, it's always been different. My leopard gecko Soleil has a really hard time with eggs because she's very tiny. So
Mm.
I try to bulk her up hardcore while she is eating because she is a good eater. Like when she eats, she eats. But like when she doesn't eat, she won't eat for like a month or two. And I get like so freaked out because she'll get very thin. And like every single time I get terrified and I'm always like borderline, like I got to go to the vet. And then she'll start eating and she'll bulk back up again and she'll look fantastic. And I'm like, you are not going to live a long life. But I give her
Oh,
calcium and like her um what is it? The herptivite, or wait, am I saying that wrong? Her
Reptivite?
vitamins. And like I bulk her up with like I do waxworm treats for just her, just to help
Uh-huh.
her put on some weight. But I don't give her too many because I don't want to cause like heart problems.
Or
But
addiction.
I mainly do like crickets, like crushed superworms, and like dubia, or I mean not dubias, they're illegal here. Discoids and stuff, and like I'll give her a hornworm every once in a while to help her with like hydration. She drinks a lot of water though, but like I just get so nervous because after she lays her eggs, she always lays like the biggest eggs, and like I don't know why. Like she's such a little leopard gecko, and she lays these monster eggs, and I'm like, what the like why? So I have a
Literally.
really hard time with her, but everybody else like eats the whole time. I feel like they might stop for like a couple days, and then
Hmm.
that's
Yeah, I
so.
think it's just because Belle's an ex-breeder that she really like, you know what I mean? Like she's just used to it. That it's definitely thrown me off because I've never, at least when I was a kid, I didn't really remember ovulation with my leopard geckos because I was little.
Same.
But like definitely dealing with it now, it's something. Like I like sometimes
It's
like
stressful.
yeah, like sometimes she'll still go to the bathroom and I'm like, you ate something? Like I didn't even know you did that. Um, but like she's very like she's fine. She's alert. She's still herself. And like she lost like 5 grams initially, but she hasn't lost any since. And I think
That's
that's
good.
just also because like when I was but right before she went in ovulation, like she's always been a big girl. Like right now she's at like 70 grams. So I'm not too worried about her losing a ton of weight. But like it's definitely scary because like you're like, I can't even imagine not eating for weeks. How are you living? Are you alive? Are you dying? Like, I don't know. And
Yeah,
like
reptiles.
I literally I always am afraid of parasites and I do not know why. Like I take such good care of my feeders. Like they're treated like queens. Like they're literally like if you don't know about like there's like Kobe beef or something like that in Japan where they like massage the cow. I feel like that's literally how I treat my feeders.
Same.
um
Feed my feeders and I water them and all that. They get some
yeah.
people yell at me though too. She's like, "You're not feeding the feeders. You gotta." I'm like, "Okay, okay, I'm feeding them." So my mom doubles that too. She's like, "You better be spraying them. You better be feeding them." Because I mean, they do cost money, and but you also need to gut load them. So definitely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah. I'm working
speaking
on
of
my
gut
discoid colony still. They take forever to
What
start
are
breeding.
what are Discord
They're like similar. They're Florida's version of dubia roaches because
got
we
it.
can't we can't have dubia roaches here
Yeah.
because if they got loose they would like overrun the wild populations of roaches. So we have discoids here because they take literally forever. But once they get going, then you're good. But it takes forever for them to get going. So
I
mine's
have
doing
been
really well. They're all adults now, and they have been for a while. So I don't know what they're doing, but I haven't seen babies yet. But I also don't investigate because they do creep me out. So I
I
like
love
have to eventually dig in
cockroaches.
there.
I
I
love them.
love my roaches. I want a hissing cockroach really bad. Like,
Yes, I want some so bad. Like, there's a girl that I follow. I took Elizabeth. Geckos. She has hissing cockroaches, and I'm so jealous. I love them.
Oh,
She
that's
usually
cool.
keeps them as pets because you can't feed them.
oh
So
yeah.
I love them. I just
I
went to the
can't get
gecko.
attached. If I get attached, I won't feed them to my animals. So I'm
It's
like,
always
I
hard for
have
me to
to.
feed hornworms. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I
Oh,
can't like hornworms are because they're really cute and I always feel terrible. Like I'm like, oh my God.
yeah, I cry when I feed hornworms. I'm like, oh my god, they're so cute.
I
And then
was
slap my geckos, which I think it's hilarious. Like, let's go.
I was I also like I have trouble like at least for me like crushing up insects like I don't know like it just makes me so sad and like
Yeah.
I have trouble like I don't mind as much when my gecko eats them but like if I've had to do cuz like definitely with Belle like in order to get her to eat once or twice cuz I did have to crush a mealworm to get like the juices if you will onto her mouth so she would at least lick up something and that was the I literally was crying like it just like I don't know if it's just a me thing but like killing it something like directly like has always like just it's hard for me.
Well, yeah, I hate it when they
No,
do that.
I get upset. I get upset feeding Kaiju her. I feed her like a rat now, like maybe once a week or once every other week. It's her like
Yeah.
special snack because it's her favorite thing ever. And I like they're frozen thawed. They're not like alive because that would literally kill me. Because I would end up keeping like all, all like every rat. I'd be like, sorry, kaiju, no, you can't have this one.
See, I
But
want to
like,
rescue a feeder, like buy a feeder lizard or something and rescue it. That's like
wait, what?
a goal of mine. Rescue a feeder a lizard, like buy it and to say, you know what, you could have became food.
I know. Yeah, like I can't do live. It just I can't do it. I can do insects. I can do them, but even them like I don't know, I just like I feel bad. Like I'm sorry little guy. Like I hope it's quick for you. Like I just feel bad.
Literally
So,
me. Like
well,
I refuse to let myself watch my dubia colony or like even like because I have darkling beetles like walk around because then I start thinking I'm like I'm feeding off your offspring and they don't even care. But to me I'm like oh my god.
I'm like
Like
I'm sorry.
yeah, like I don't know if it's just like I said, I'm glad I'm not alone. Like I think that's why like keeping a snake would be hard for me, just in case like I would have to resort to live, like I couldn't do it.
Me
Um
neither. I'd have to get rid of this. Like I'd have to give the snake away because
I
I
couldn't do
just
it.
couldn't, especially because I have guinea pigs. So I'm like, oh
Oh.
my god, like I don't know. I can't. Like I can't do live.
See,
I'm
if I
happy that
have
my
to, I
Tego
can
is
do it
like
though.
my
If
Tego
I
will eat
have to,
anything, so I'm
I can
good.
do it.
I happened like cuz I don't mind snake feeding videos like if it's frozen thawed like I'm so used to like frozen thawed feeding videos that like an account I followed happened to post like a feeding video and I immediately thought it was frozen thawed and like those don't bother me but it was a live feeding video and like I didn't click out quick enough and like literally seeing that like made me so sad. Because like there was no like disclaimer that it was live. It was just that it was a feeding video, so I assumed it was frozen thawed like everybody else is.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, most people.
that stuck with me. Cause like I just I can't watch live feedings. Like I accidentally stumbled once on YouTube of like a baby pinky being fed to like a baby corn snake and I couldn't do it. Cause like I don't know. Like just like I don't mind frozen thawed pinkies and stuff like that. Like it's just the act of seeing something actually die or like a mammal that has a higher cognitive ability. I think insects don't bother me as much because it's going to sound bad, but they don't have as high cognitive ability as like say like a rat. Like seeing a rat being eaten alive like that bothers me. Like frozen thawed I have no issue with. Like I'm like what
Yeah.
they're
I
killed
don't
humanely.
know about that because my tarantula, like he or she, I feel like they know pain in a way
Mhm.
because if I poke her or even like touch, well, senses, yeah, I feel like she would know what pain is if I were to rip off an arm.
Well, arachnids do have a higher cognitive function than like
Well, yeah,
other
of course,
like insects, I think.
I mean like I like I said like I just literally told you I like crushed a mealworm and I had like I literally had a panic attack and was hysterically crying.
yeah,
Um but like I think that's just why like I for me I can keep leopard geckos is just cuz like it's a different attachment for me with mealworms.
yeah.
Like but like definitely I don't enjoy like when I've had to crush like that's just why I don't feed super worms. Like I wouldn't anyway, but like when my like partner has to feed his bearded because he crushes a head before he does it.
Yeah,
Like
me
I
too.
can't watch. I can't watch. Like I'm like, oh like I know it's quick, but I'm like, oh.
I hate it. Sometimes I'll like have my beardy do it for me because apparently they don't perform mastication, but like they kind of still do. Like they crunch. So like sometimes I'll hold the superworm like head first, and like Raylan and Renzo will like crunch the head, and like the superworm will stop moving. So then I'm like, all right, you guys did it, not me. And they're so much more efficient and faster. But like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll do it that way and let
Do you
them
guys believe
crunch the
in?
head. So
I'm
What
curious.
go
Do you
ahead.
guys believe in the mealworms and superworms eating through animals' stomachs?
I don't
No.
know because superworms can drown. So like and they drown pretty quickly because I've accidentally done this before. So like they drown really fast. So I'm not sure, but I think if you have a bearded dragon with like an issue, then like hell yeah, like I'm sure like a superworm could like overcome the
Well, yeah, that I
yeah,
think
there's
with no
something
teeth,
going
because
on.
I'm always skeptical at that. Like I feed my leopard geckos. I don't crush heads, um, people probably gonna riot at me for that. I never did that, but I've never had an issue. But then again, even with Butch, well, Butch won't eat crickets. He won't eat anything. He'll starve himself to death because he hates any human. He's not like bubblegum, but he doesn't. He just doesn't want to be alone. He's a deaf loner. He doesn't hiss at me or anything. But when they eat mealworms, I never really consider it as
I've
their body.
I've never crushed mealworm heads personally.
I've never
Um,
crushed mealworm heads.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a little overkill because like what I think about it when I see my leopard geckos eat a mealworm, they chomp it. Like one like because if you look into research, the stomach acid of any animal is going to kill something very quickly because it's acid. Um and not only that, like even if you were worried about that, like if you disacknowledge like stomach acid, the amount of injuries that they get because leopard geckos do chew their food, they do bite it up and tear into it a bit. I do believe because of the injuries it wouldn't be able to really survive anyway, like even if it did
Yeah.
live down the throat to the stomach, if the stomach acid would probably kill it very quickly. Just from a scientific aspect, like it would kill it very quickly, and even if you were afraid of that not happening, like the marks from being chewed on is definitely going to kill it like
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, like my beardies, like they smash everything that I give them. So like I just feel like what could live through that? Like, I don't know. I'm
That's
just
what I'm
like,
thinking. Like, how can they
and if
live through
water
that?
can kill them, then like you said, Tiara, like stomach acid is gonna do them in like even quicker. So it's like, I'm
I
not
feel
really.
like the horror stories come from one improper heating, improper everything, and or a very
Exactly.
unhealthy, very very unhealthy animal that it can't digest it and it just sits there. Because
Yeah,
I
or
think
even
it,
just like something that's going on medically that they just don't know about yet, or like, because I mean, reptiles aren't expressive in the same way that like mammals are. So like, sometimes you have no clue if your animal's about to drop dead. So it's like, you
Oh,
yeah.
know.
well, I would even think like I don't even know how that could happen. Like if you want to disacknowledge stomach acid, if you want to disacknowledge chewing, like one like choking hazard would be a thing because they chew their food so they don't choke. And if you want to like say they didn't chew by some miracle and they swallowed it without choking, the insect would suffocate. There's no oxygen in the stomach. Like there's no way it could breathe. Like I don't. It would probably be dead. Like if a human eats a live animal, they're dead within like if like it's been studied that if like scientifically we didn't have stomach acid, they would die very quickly from lack of oxygen.
Well,
So
yeah,
like
snakes. When
yeah,
snakes that have swallowed live prey, I watched this horrible video from Snake Discovery. I don't know why I clicked on that channel. I didn't know how bad it was. And they had a live chicken, and it went all the way down, but obviously it wasn't gonna make it. That was a horrible video. That left me scarred.
Oh
wait,
God,
are
no,
you sure it
yeah,
wasn't the
I can't watch
reptile
that.
channel?
Oh, whoa, oh wait, reptiles channel. What did I say?
Snake
Snake
Discovery.
Discovery?
My
I was like, I didn't know she had that kind of stuff on
no.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
was gonna say.
scratch me. I did not mean I don't know why I said Snake Discovery. Don't come right at me. No,
That's
me
why I was like,
reptile
I've never.
channel.
Oh yeah, I don't mind name dropping the reptile channel because they're
Oh
literally
my gosh, I'm so
disgusting.
embarrassed. I am so
No, it's
embarrassed.
okay. Don't worry about it. I knew who you were talking about immediately.
I was
Um,
like, but she's so sweet. What?
yeah.
Reptile channel.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
I saw
usually.
that. I was like, how? Like, you really recorded that poor chicken being eaten alive? And I was like, how did
They
it
did
not
it.
die yet?
They did it in reverse too, by the way. Like they pretended like they were saving the chicken from the anaconda's stomach, which
I thought they
uh,
weren't. I thought they were just set aside.
no, no. It the video because I did a deep dive into them.
I've
Um, like I
seen.
said, I don't name drop just because like I don't like to be rude, but like they're something I'm okay with because they're awful. Like I didn't name drop them last time I was talking about them, but literally if anyone wants to deep dive it, they're literally a cover up. Like they torture animals for like viewing enjoyment and they market their content towards children as education. Like they can be found on the kids YouTube app and basically more or less um it's a big cover up. Like I'll send you guys the links. Like
And they
I've
make
done
it
my own
so
research.
sweet though too. They make it so innocent
They
looking.
it's a
Are
cover
they
up
the
for
ones
like
that let their anaconda wrap around their dog and then they act like they're saving the dog?
I feel like they probably have done that.
Yes, and they like try to make them like like I clicked on one. I was like trying to man-eating snake. Like he tried to make like there was some guy that tried to make a snake eat him. Like there was before, not with Reptile Channel, but with another guy because he wanted to really study this inside. I don't know why you would want you get yourself eaten just to study the inside. Can't you put a scope down this?
Yeah,
Like,
why would you want to go through that? I would never, like, I would never, I don't care if you gave me like $1 billion. I would never do that. Like,
yeah,
Jesus
but
Christ.
that person was a totally different person, and that's how I got the chicken. It's like they put a chicken and put a scope in the on the chicken. I'm like, that's one.
Yes.
Where is scope going? And then also that chicken's alive, and I love chickens. My best animal was a chicken, so it kind of disturbed me when it was screaming. You could hear it just
Well, and
begging for its
they
Oh
were
life.
God,
playing
that
it
would mess me
they
up.
were playing it as like they were rescuing the chicken because I remember that video.
It didn't seem
Like
like
they
they
were
were
pulling it out.
rescuing it.
Well, no, they weren't. They just shot it in reverse. And if you listen to the audio, they're saying that they're saving the chicken from the anaconda's stomach, which they're
Oh, it
not.
looked like he was like bye bye because I think we
It,
remember
it
I've
is.
seen it in
They weren't
videos.
doing that. They shot it. They reversed the footage. I get really heated talking about them. Basically, they're a cover up for like a vor fetish, like
Yeah,
a
I
guy
know
that has
that.
a
I
vor
think
fetish.
emerald not emeralds, but that England reptiles covered them. That's how I found out about them. Is through
Nerd,
emerald.
yeah, nerd covered them.
Yeah,
Um,
Nerd covered them, and I love how they talk shit about Nerd in one video. I watched that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wait, the nerd herps or different?
uh,
Nerds, no, England's reptiles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the one with like the cow retics and stuff like that.
and
Oh,
the monitor lizards. I love their monitor lizards. Gosh, but they're expensive. No.
Oh my god! Like I looked on their site once and I was like, huh, maybe. And I was like, oh, bye, I'm out.
Of $1,000 for a cheap.
I
I was like, oh no,
like they're yeah, I was like, but anyway, but like I said, I don't usually like to name drop here, but like there's something like I haven't name dropped them before, but they're not like I don't because I always think
they're
about
weird. It's weird
people
channel.
behind stuff, so like that's why I don't name drop, and I also just don't like toxicity and spreading that because we have enough of that in the community.
oh,
Um,
definitely.
but them like they're marketing their content towards children and making it educational, and it's a cover up for a fetish. Um, like not judging